Well, it's been a tough year for a lot of people. A lot of us have tried to stay positive. Psychologists have long said that's healthy, but at some point, is this doing more harm than good?
In setting out to find the difference between optimism and denial, Dr. Robert Cole found some toxic positivity, but he's also looking for a way to acknowledge hardship without letting it control you. His book is How to Build a Smile, 14 Ways to a Better You. Dr. Robert Cole. Hello, doctor.
Morning.
How are you guys?
Great.
Well, good. I'll tell you, toxic positivity has never been a problem around here, but what is that line between having an upbeat attitude and just being a fake? Is that really the issue here?
I think that's part of it. I think it's everything in life, you have to balance everything. And I think being overly positive sometimes has its problems. Sometimes it comes off fake. Sometimes we're not acknowledging our own emotions. We're not acknowledging other people's emotions. And that can be problematic when we start to mask those real problems and we can't face those problems.
So let's look at this past year and saying, okay, there's a lot of things that have happened in the last year that have made a lot of people upset. And people try to say, well, there's a light at the end of the tunnel, or we're going to get through this together. Are those examples of toxic positivity, or are there ways that you can still remain positive without kind of falling back on saying some trite sayings?
Right. Some of those sayings are helpful, but when we don't acknowledge reality and we sort of just constantly say those things,
yeah.
We don't think about what the other person's saying, we don't acknowledge that those people have real problems, that's when it becomes problematic. I think it's okay to be positive. I practically wrote a book on it, but I think we can go too far in the end of just kind of pushing people's emotions away. And sometimes we push our own emotions away. We make others feel guilty. Social media is a great example. Everything on social media, or the majority of it, is positive. So that's the reality that some people think exists. And I think that can be a problem sometimes.
And it almost avoids the issue of fixing a problem. And you talk about the concept of an action plan, and maybe people haven't even thought that they need to maybe it's not their responsibility, but how do you develop an action plan to solve a problem?
Right. You have to stop asking, you have to answer the questions differently, not why me, or why is this happening, but how can we fix what's happening? And you have to listen to other people. And I think listening is sort of the key to everything. And, I work in the ICU, and I have to listen to the patient's problems, but I have to listen to the family's problems, and it allows me to be a better physician. And I think life works in the same way. When you have friends that are going through problematic things in their life, they lost their job, whatever it may be, to step back and listen, acknowledge that things aren't perfect, and say, this is a real problem. How can we fix it? I think that's how you develop that action plan, and you can move forward in life in a way that's productive.
You mentioned social media, and in your book you also talk about avoiding broadcasting your hardships, which is something that you do have a tendency to sometimes find on Facebook.
Right. I think we all like to vent about things going on in our life that maybe is not perfect. But I think when we put those hardships out for the world to see, we sort of begin to let everyone else view ourselves as a victim. And then we start viewing ourselves as a victim. And then those problems in our life seem to control us. And we really do lose control of our life if we let it go too far in the wrong direction. I think occasionally venting is perfectly okay. I think it's healthy. But certainly we don't want to become that, just live in that world of self-pity all the time. We will lose control of our life sometimes when we do that.
All right, you can find Robert Cole, MD. Here's the website. I think I screwed that up. RobertMColeMD.com. There it is on your screen. And the book is called How to Build a Smile. Thank you, doctor.
Thank you. I'll remember to send you guys a thank you letter.
Thank you.
Well done.
Larry will like that.